The desert night outside Prince Sultan Air Base has become the front line of a new and very modern kind of fight. From the air, the base looks like any other sprawling complex of runways, hangars, and fuel farms. On the ground, it has felt anything but secure. In recent weeks, repeated drone and missile strikes originating from across the Gulf have battered aircraft, damaged critical infrastructure, and in at least one known case, taken the life of a service member. What began as a series of probing attacks has become, in short order, a campaign that exposed gaps in defenses and forced a rapid recalibration of how the United States protects its assets in the region. In response, U.S. forces have quietly introduced an unlikely new tool into the mix. Technology developed in Ukraine. At the heart of that transfer is a command and control platform now operating at the base, a system designed to fuse sensor feeds, radar tracks, and acoustic detections into a single real-time picture of acoustic detections, meaning small unmanned aerial systems. The platform, built by Ukrainian engineers hardened by years of combat against mass drone assaults, gives operators a dashboard that can track threats as they move and then coordinate responses across multiple shooters and interceptors. This is not a single gadget. It is a software layer that takes in many kinds of data: low-cost acoustic sensors, electro-optical cameras, short-range radars, and turns noisy, sparse information into actionable tracks. In the Ukrainian battle space, that approach was born out of necessity. When thousands of cheap strike drones arrive in waves, you learn fast what works and what does not. American commanders in the Gulf have now adapted that lesson to their own environment, integrating the platform with U.S. and allied sensors at Prince Sultan and elsewhere. Alongside the command and control layer, interceptor drones have been deployed with the explicit job of hunting enemy drones in midair. These attritable interceptive. TORs are designed to be inexpensive enough to be used in quantity, fast enough to reach targets before they strike, and agile enough to operate in cluttered airspace. During an early live test at the base, however, one interceptor reportedly lost control and crashed into a building on site. A reminder that rapid deployments under combat conditions carry technical and operational risks. The shift toward Ukrainian systems and low-cost interceptors is notable for two reasons. First, it underlines a growing recognition among U.S. planners that legacy air defenses, even those that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, were designed for a different era of threats. High-altitude ballistic missile defenses and expensive radar networks are essential against certain kinds of attacks, but they can struggle to detect, track, and engage swarms of small, low-flying, low-signature drones. Second, it demonstrates a willingness to import battlefield-proven solutions from partners who have been fight. Initiative, and difficulty carries. That change of posture carries irony. Only weeks earlier, the president publicly declined an offer of help from Ukraine. He told a television interviewer on March 6, "We don't need their help in drone defense." Now, with drones and missiles striking at the heart of U.S. operations in the region, Ukrainian-designed tools are on American bases. The pivot underscores a simple military truth. Capability decisions are often dictated less by politics than by what actually works under fire. The unit spearheading the U.S. counter-drone effort in the theater, a joint interagency task force, recently committed hundreds of millions of dollars to boost defenses. That funding has been directed to a range of measures: sensors, cameras, command and control upgrades, and interceptors, under a campaign planners call Operation Epic Fury. The money reflects an acknowledgement that attrition is happening in real time, when cheap attack drones cost a few $1,000s. Arson, they take out radars and runways that cost orders of magnitude more. The calculus of deterrence and defense changes. Ukraine's contributions to this phase of the campaign are not incidental. 4 years into its war, Ukraine has become a global laboratory for drone and counter-drone techniques. Hundreds of engineers and innovators have built networks of sensors, open-source data architectures, and tactics for coordinating intercepts in dense, congested environments. Those systems do not promise perfection. Even their designers stress there is no single solution that stops every threat, but they do offer speed of adaptation, a crucial edge when adversaries iterate their own designs rapidly. Meanwhile, Iran has continued to push the envelope on its own unmanned systems. State-linked Iranian outlets this month released footage and descriptions of a new jet-powered platform the state has labeled the Hadid 1110, also referred to in some accounts as the Dalahu. Iranian coverage amidst the airframe uses faceted surfaces to lower radar visibility, is turbojet-powered for speeds north of 500 kilometers per hour, can operate at high altitude, and carry a precision warhead for more than half an hour in flight. If those capabilities bear out, the platform would represent a deliberate effort to move beyond slow, propeller-driven loitering munitions and toward faster, longer-range strike drones that are harder to detect and harder to counter, those claims come with caveats. In modern conflict, weapon performance metrics, range, speed, radar cross-section payload are often disputed and sometimes exaggerated for strategic effect. Still, the public unveiling of such a system signals intent. Iran is investing in platforms that emphasize stealth, speed, and precision, and it is testing those concepts in a region that's already bristling with sensors and weapons. That, in turn, raises the stakes for the forces whose bases and assets are in the crosshairs. The broader pattern, RAA, is familiar to military strategists. When one side fields inexpensive and proliferated systems, the other side either pays disproportionately to shoot them down, or it seeks asymmetric solutions that change the cost equation in recent weeks. U.S. forces in the Gulf have felt both pressures. Expensive radars and missile interceptors remain vital for certain threats, but they are poor matches for swarming, low-signature systems. The adoption of Ukrainian command and control and the fielding of affordable interceptors are attempts to rebalance that mismatch to stop a small, cheap strike with a quick, cheap intercept rather than a multi-million-dollar missile shot. At Prince Sultan and other installations, the human dimension cannot be ignored. Crews are adjusting to new dashboards, to listening posts of acoustic sensors and short-range radars, and to a tempo where each alert could be the prelude to damage or casualties. Maintenance teams are repairing a seemingly endless sequence of parts and airframes. Commanders are recalibrating their doctrine, shifting from static, layered air defenses to more dynamic, integrated networks that emphasize detection, rapid decision, and localized interception. Those adjustments take time, training, and critically trust in new systems, especially when those systems come from foreign developers with different operational assumptions. Political dynamics are inseparable from this technical story. The president's earlier public dismissal of outside help contrasts with the quiet operational embrace of that assistance now. Whether that change was politically coordinated or driven by commanders on the ground, it illustrates how battlefield realities can force shifts in public posture. For allies and partners, the episode may carry mixed messages. The United States remains the primary security provider in the region, but it is also prepared to adopt solutions wherever they prove effective. There are, of course, risks to relying on developed systems. Integration challenges are real. Hardware and software must be made interoperable with U.S. radars and command architectures. Supply chains must be secured, and legal and export control issues must be managed. The U.S. have managed, the U.S. esteems. Military has decades of experience integrating allied systems, but integrating tools developed in a different war environment is not plug and play. The recent test mishap at Prince Sultan, the interceptor that crashed, is a stark example of why careful testing and training matter even in the middle of an urgent campaign. Still, the adoption of these tools underscores a central lesson of contemporary warfare. Adaptation beats doctrine when the pace of change is rapid. Adversaries are experimenting with new conceptions of attack, and defenders must do the same. Ukraine's battlefield innovations in drone detection and coordination offer a tested playbook for countering certain classes of threat. The United States, with its industrial depth and logistical reach, brings scale and sustainment. Combining those strengths may not solve the problem entirely, but it can buy space for more enduring fixes, from better sensors to new classes of interceptors and layered doctrine that blends high-end missile defenses with cheaper, quicker counters for mass drone attacks. Beyond the technical fight, there are strategic consequences. As Iran introduces faster, stealthier strike drones into a contested region, potential adversaries will reassess risk calculations across multiple theaters. A drone that can fly faster at higher altitude and with reduced radar signature complicates targeting and attribution that in turn influences political decision-making. Leaders must weigh the risks of escalation when assets are threatened in the open skies above allied bases, shipping lanes, and partner nations. Back at the base, for the airmen and technicians who keep aircraft ready and runways operational, the measures that matter are practical. AA, new sensor network that gives 60 extra seconds of warning, can be the difference between hurried scramble and chaotic repair. An interceptor that reliably kills a drone before it strikes can save lives and aircraft. Those everyday calculations of seconds and meters of maintenance cycles and spare parts accumulate into strategic outcomes. The current episode also underscores the changing geography of innovation. For decades, the center of gravity for air defense technology was concentrated among a handful of Western nations with deep defense industrial bases. Now, conflict-driven innovation outside those centers is reshaping the options available to militaries worldwide. Systems refined under fire in one theater can, in short order, be adapted in another. That diffusion will redefine how militaries think about procurement, cooperation, and operational experimentation in the years to come. If there is a cautionary note, it is that no single advance will be decisive. Iranian claims about jet-powered stealth drones, Ukrainian systems, battlefield effectiveness, and the United States' capacity to integrate new tools all matter, but none are a panacea. Defenders will still face trade-offs between range and responsiveness, between cost and durability, between centralized control and local autonomy. Leaders will need to prioritize investments that deliver layered resilience. Better sensors, more interceptors of different kinds, hardened infrastructure, dispersal of critical assets, and tactics that complicate an attacker's targeting. The scene in the Gulf will not calm overnight. Weapon concepts will continue to evolve, and with them the countermeasures. What has changed irreversibly is the recognition that speed of adaptation is itself a form of military power. Those who iterate fastest, who take battlefield lessons and translate them into systems, training, and operational practice will hold a decisive advantage in the contest for airspace control at the lower altitude deeds where much of the fighting now occurs. As night falls over the base, the new sensor arrays and their Ukrainian-derived brain hum quietly in the background. On screens, analysts watch dots and tracks cross the map in silence. At length, a decision is made, an interceptor is launched, and a small threat is intercepted far from the assets it sought to strike. It is an imperfect victory, but one that reflects a broader truth of modern conflict. Technology alone does not win. Adaptation, integration, and the willingness to learn from others under pressure do. The air war of the present day is not won by the biggest weapon alone, but by the force that can change fastest when the battlefield redefines the rules.